Hi, I'm Rachel Kimberly Hastings, an author, an artist, and screenwriter for animation. Welcome to the Storyteller Treehouse. Today, I'm busting out one of my all-time favorite storytelling tools. It's called the Story Engine. I collect a lot of prompt tools like dice and cards and images, but this one in particular can be used in a lot of different arenas, writing and RPGs and even classrooms. Also, maybe it's just me, but I love flipping through decks of cards as I think. So satisfying. I'll share some of my favorite ways to use the deck as a writer, but I'll also share some ideas that could be used in more creative ways with kids or friends of all ages. So let's go. So what exactly is the Story Engine? Well, it's got a series of different card types that you can see in the guidebook. They're very helpful. They list out all the different types and what they represent. I won't go over all of this in detail. The basic ways to make prompts, different types of prompts, make a character-focused prompts, item or setting-driven prompt. But basically, everything is formed by these 5 types of cards. An agent would be a character. Engine is what their goal is or what motivates them. The anchor is an object, what they're trying to get usually. Conflict is obviously what would make someone have trouble achieving their goal. And aspect cards are just wild cards that you can place and tuck around other cards to describe them. But what kinds of things can you do with these story prompts once you have them? First, the Story Engine as a creative writing tool. I've actually generated several story ideas from scratch using this deck that I've gone on to write into short stories. One of which was published on GoHavoc.com last year. I had a prompt that was something about a lighthouse keeper and an airship captain, and the idea just never let me go. So I had to write the story. By the way, it's called Skylights if you're interested, and if you have a Havoc membership, you can view it on their website if you want to read it for yourself. So just really quickly to show you how this works, I can make a basic story prompt by pulling an agent card and then picking one of these 4 prompts to be my main character for this prompt. A conspiracy theorist, a journalist, a scientist, or an investigator. I think I'm going to go with a conspiracy theorist. And then you build on that with each of these other cards. So I'll pull an engine card who wants to commit a crime with or involving, or who wants to upstage a rival with or in. So let's just say this conspiracy theorist has a rival that they're trying to prove something to. Then we have our anchors, a foundry, a mechanism, a mine, or a crystal. This conspiracy theorist wants to upstage a rival with or in a mine. So maybe there's some conspiracy about this underground mine that they believe it was abandoned for a different reason than everybody else believes. And then our conflict, which will tie it all together. So what is at stake here? It will mean betraying family, but it will mean forgiving family. Everybody else believes that this is not real, and if they continue this path, it'll mean going against everything that their family upholds to reveal the truth. So that's just a basic 4-card prompt, and then the aspect cards can be added at will where you want to describe things. So there's private, damaged, unexpected, or crude. Maybe it's a damaged mine. You can just tuck that underneath. So a conspiracy theorist wants to upstage a rival with or in a damaged mine, but it will mean betraying family. So that's just the basic prompt, and then you can take it in whichever direction you want when you create your story. That's just how the Story Engine works. The deck can also help when you're stuck with something you've already started. I've used it to jumpstart my creative juices when I hit a section of writer's block in my process. Say I have a particular character in a situation, but I don't know her motivations. I can pull an engine or an anchor card for inspiration. So for example, if I were stuck in my current project, which is The Shadow Codex, a middle grade science fiction novel about a girl who is a special agent at a secret agent school in space. So say I'm stuck in my current scene, which is she's sneaking around the enemy base and I don't know what she's trying to accomplish while she's there. I can use the story engine to like move me past whatever block I have. So let's just say I have a placeholder for my character. This is to represent Kimball. And I want to know what are some things that maybe would motivate her to be sneaking around this base. So here I have an engine card, which would be either she wants to be saved by, or she wants to save. Now that could give me some really interesting ideas. There's other characters in the story that maybe she's trying to actively save her best friend from the enemy. That would be her motivation for sneaking around this base, is that she wants to save her friend. She knows her friend is here. She just wants to get her out. So that's just one example. This just happened to be the first card that I pulled, but you can add on to that if you wanted. It's just one way to like move you past whatever your block is in the story. Now let's talk about the story engine as a tool for role-playing games and character creation. I love doing tabletop role-playing games with friends, and I've been playing the same 2 characters regularly for several years. But every once in a while I get to join a one-off campaign and have to create a new character from scratch in a hurry. The story engine is helpful to generate ideas for who my character could be or what her motivation or backstory is. If I only know that I want to play, for example, a bard class, I can use the story engine to give me more fleshed out ideas for race and history and personality. So this is a one-shot character that I had created a while back, but just for the purposes of trying this, let's just say all I know is that I want to be a storytelling bard. So maybe, let's pull an engine card and see what kinds of ideas we might have for this. Wants to end the power of, wants to gain the power of. That's really interesting, a storyteller who wants to gain power of something. So let's see what kind of character this might be. We have a companion, a secret admirer, a roommate, or a romantic partner. A secret admirer, that would be really interesting if this storyteller is actually just writing fan fiction of their favorite author. They are a secret admirer of some famous storyteller in this world already, and they're kind of a copycat. So they want to gain the power of that storyteller even. So we have an anchor card, a market, a coin, a potion, or a ring. So maybe they want to gain the power of whoever the storyteller is. Let's just put a placeholder there. So my character is a secret admirer bard who wants to gain the power of their favorite famous storyteller by the use of a magic potion. So they're looking for a potion that could help them gain the power that their favorite famous author has. I could go further and pull out more conflicts or aspects, but I think this kind of gives you an idea of how I could flesh out my bard storyteller in a way that could have an interesting backstory and motivation. I took an acting class back in college, and one of the things we did was practice improv skills through random prompts that the class threw out at us. For classrooms, or even a group of friends on a Saturday night, this could be a fun way to play through scenes or characters rapid fire. Maybe one person picks an agent card, and another picks an aspect. For more structure, you could create a complete story prompt and then work together to act it out as a sort of impromptu skit. So we have an academic who wants to find hope in an elusive secret blueprint, but it will make them a fugitive. I can find the secret blueprints to the fallout shelter underneath the college to prove that Nazis are running the school. Or you could make it into a sort of storytelling round robin, where each person adds to the story as it goes around in a circle. Once upon a time, there was a doctor who wants to let go of a machine, but the innocent will suffer. But it's all a great big misunderstanding. And lastly, you could totally combine the story engine with other prompts. As I've mentioned, I hoard these prompt tools like a nerdy storytelling dragon. The folks behind the story engine have released the deck of worlds. I might do another video about that at some point because I love it and I use it all the time in my writing. There are some fun ways that you can combine these two to flesh out your story or world. And actually right now, the people who made these are making a third campaign on BackerKit right now called the Lore Masters deck, full of more in-depth springboards for world building and culture and character creation. It's looking really fun and useful. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. That's all for now. Have you ever used the Story Engine or other storytelling prompt tools? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Keep making stories, and I'll see you next time back in the treehouse.